This video is going to take a look at kneeling abs facing rear and kneeling triceps extensions. 1-2 punch of top 10 moves that I try to touch on every class or every other class, just really often on these two moves. These are both concentric resistance of the springs. So again, this is good to use with beginner all the way to expert level reformers. So we're going one medium spring. Some folks need a light, some need someone a little heavier. All right, kneeling abs facing rear is the name of this series that starts with the foundational move of flexing the hips to pull the carriage up and then extending the hips to return. Now, kneeling abs facing rear is such a great move to help people organize neutral strength in the spine while they move the hips, or flex spine. You can do this imprinted as well. But I like to set it up a little bit differently than we learned in teacher training, and that's with the knees together, thighs together, or parallel. So either on the midline or parallel, a real narrow stance, and about 6 inches back behind those shoulder blocks. Then you're going to walk forward, wrist bones on the rails with your radius and ulna bone both on the rail, but trying to get pretty wide out on those rails. You see how close to neutral you can keep the wrist joint here. You can always put stickies under somebody's hands. I've been on these guys for years, so I know aluminum rails pretty well. You're not going to slip, but you're trying to hold now with the chest muscles. So the the setup here, we've got parallel, 6 inches behind the blocks. Then up on those wrist bones, hips come forward, and the chest is now open and working, helping hold the shoulders, hold the upper body. And then exhale as you scoop, tuck the legs in, and then inhale as you extend. Now there's your classic kneeling abs rear. In a level 1 class, this is some of the best ab training you can do in exercise right here. A lot of variations come out of that, but let's keep moving on to a super important one, both for function and aesthetics, which is your kneeling triceps extension, usually on the exact same spring. Now, we were taught on this move to bring the hips up over the knees, keep the shoulder over the wrists. I think that puts undue strain or focus on most people. Here's what I like to do. I walk back, we hang the feet down in the well. We sit back in what I call crouching tiger position. You got hips back on the heels, you got neutral spine, nice relaxed neck, and then we're going to isolate the arm, extending the elbow with the triceps while we're holding the shoulder joint real nice and stable with that plethora of muscles that make up that shoulder cuff linking into the core. Now, you can adjust. What I like to do is on a beginner, I'll have them align their humerus with their spine. So, okay, the spine is at this diagonal right now. So humerus is going to be there. And that humerus is going to hold still right up against the side. Now, when they extend out, you'll see a lot of people turn the elbow out. They're going to lose the essence. You got to keep external rotation of the humerus. That is what's going to help you keep the humerus parallel, and the shoulder cuff real stable. Okay, so I always say externally rotate the arm. That turns your elbow inwards. Keeping the elbow inwards. Now we're working that triceps kickback real nice. There's great variations on this as well. Pumping, I love pumping on triceps kickback. Find a spot to pump as they fatigue. Yeah, you'll hear it. I'm not a huge fan of airplane coming out to the side. It just feels like too much effort to keep the trapezius out of it for me, but that's just my preference. So going from kneeling abs facing rear, usually a light to medium spring. All right, we're rocking out these sets and then over to the next set of triceps. Usually one or two sets of each coming across back and forth is plenty. For most people kneeling, they're about ready to get up. Um, but there's lots of cool variations. We'll look at each in detail in future videos, perhaps, and look at variations for kneeling abs facing rear and kneeling triceps. All right, see you next time.